Hey guys, we left off with setting up our project. Now we're going to set up our character. Alright, first you're going to go over to the Epic Games launcher and you're going to scroll down. Hopefully you went to the marketplace and you purchased your Anim starter pack. All you're going to do is click on add to project. I'm going to add this movement Anim set pro to my project, and then your projects will pop up like this. And then find our Let's tutorial, TPS01, click add to project. Should take a little while. Feel free to fast forward for this process, but if you want to stick around, then stick around. So we're gonna add our project, start setting up our character, and shouldn't take too long. Try to run you through it as fast as possible, giving you as much detail as I possibly can. I'm going to try to actually, what I find from a lot of tutorials is either they don't explain enough or they explain it in ways that someone who's really just starting out doesn't understand. I've came across that many times. Alright, so it is after you see that download, once it says it's cached and everything like that, should mean that it's in your project now. So pull up your project tab, your Unreal Engine tab, and go into your content, and then there it is. Yours should, depending on which one you chose, it should be right in a new folder. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to go into our where did game files? Where did our character? This is quite odd. Game files, maps, and I'm not sure what happened to my character folder. Seemed to have just disappeared. But that shouldn't be hard. I will create a new folder, and I'll call him character. This seems to be, there it is. I don't know, having some issues with, alright, so here it is. Everything is where it should be. You're going to double click on character, and you're going to right click, and you're going to go to add a blueprint class. Alright, we're going to add a character. Alright, add character, and we'll call this I'm going to call this my underscore TPS underscore character. Alright, again, it's up to you, whatever you want to name it, but just try to name it to what so and down the road you'll know what that what that referenced. Alright, just open it up, and then you can just grab your little tab here and drag it up. Alright, so I'm going to run you through these basic components. This is your capsule component. This is this right here. This will basically keep you from falling through the world, bumping it, going through objects and stuff like that are in the world. This your air component actually shows you the way the actual, you want your character facing, basically. This is your mesh, which is basically the model of your character. And then this is just a bunch of stuff about input movement of your character. And we'll get into that later. Alright, so first we actually want to, since you added that asset to your game, we're going to actually add a skeleton mesh, and it is the SK mannequin skeleton mesh. Just click on it, and then he'll pop up right here, you know, and you kind of want to line him up the best you can inside the inside your capsule component. And you can maneuver with the, if you have your scroll wheel, you can push it in and it'll bring you up and down. Scroll wheel up and down, like the button pushed in will bring you up and down, and then the scroll wheel up or down will bring you left, forward and back. Then you can actually hold down, and the A, S, D, W keys, if you hold down the left mouse button, will bring you left and right, and you can actually really maneuver around really fast. But you can mess around with those. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to position him facing towards the arrow. So you have these little, this will actually move him, up or down, left or right, and this will rotate him. You want to kind of grab the blue part and then bring him towards negative 90 degrees to his right, and now he'll be facing where he should be. Alright, the next thing will be we can actually click on the capsule component and we can actually make it a little bigger. Alright, the height of it, you can just drag it. Doesn't need to be like perfect, but as best you can to get it to cover him. You're bringing in the radius slightly. Again, these are little things that it's really up to you. But we actually see how we want his feet all the way at the bottom, because when you enter the world with him, he'll actually be not flat right on the ground if the capsule component is like this. He'll be like above the ground. So I want to go back to this. Oh wait, we got to go to our mesh to actually move him like that. For some reason you can't move the actual capsule component up or down. You have to move. And see how he moves by like 10? If you wanted to move less, you can do 1, 5, or whatever. At this moment you kind of want to do 1. You kind of have to get yourself where you kind of can see. Alright, that looks about right. Maybe tab it down. It should be about right there. Alright, that looks good right there. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is we can compile that, save it. Now we're going to go over to back to our content, go into our let's go into our game files, and we are going to go to our TPS game mode base. Double click on that, and where it says default pawn class, you want to pull this drop down and you want to click on my TPS character. Now that will basically, when you start the game, it'll put your player right where that little controller is. So if you hit play, oh, you know something? I did forget, which was what you really need for your character. And again, there's nothing wrong with making some mistakes. Mistakes really, you learn from your mistakes, So what you want to do is you actually need a camera and a spring arm. Alright. Spring arm. Alright, first, actually, where you want to do this is you want to click on where your capsule component is and add the spring arm. And that will drop it down in your hierarchy. And then this will basically keep your the spring arm will keep the camera from like exactly this distance away from your character, so it won't really, you know, I guess be bouncing around and stuff as much if it didn't have it. Then you can add a component from there and a camera. So just make sure when you add the camera, you want the camera under, you know, you want it to be like a child of the spring arm. So basically if I were to click this, you don't see it. So now it actually is attached to it. So now we kind of don't want it really, we do not want the camera pointed at his butt. That we don't want. So we want it a little higher. So with the spring arm selected, we'd want it to basically go up. So you can pull it up however you want. Think it around there. For some reason I'm having some lag issues. Let's give it a good even number, like 55. And then with a little more, kind of like how most games are, a little over to the right. So we can pull it over to the right a little bit. Maybe let's like that over the shoulder. So let's compile, save it, hit play. Now see, now there's your character. Now he should be in the world, and basically that's really it for now. You know, like I said, I want to keep these simple, short, you know, and the next video will actually be moving our character around. So, and then we'll guess dive a little into the blueprints. So, you know, so stay tuned for the next one, and I will see you guys.